Good morning, all you amazing listeners out there or watchers on YouTube, and welcome to another edition of Hangin' With The Chads. I'm Chad Springer, joined as always by the greatest tag team partner of all time, Mr. Chad Boudreaux. Boudreaux, how the hell are you doing?
Oh man, I'm great. A little tired first week, had Friday night football, but yep, I'm hanging in there, man, getting there.
I turned this week into Hell Week, is what I dubbed it. It was basically that. And, Friday Night Lights is back. We're going to get into some of our favorite teams, including our special guest today, Mr. Josh Coble. He's an assistant football coach and JV head football coach down in Eastern Randolph High School, the home of the Wildcats in old North Carolina. He's also an assistant AD. So he's going to talk about how we're going to separate his life a little bit there and how much time he really has. And he also leads wrestlers to state championships as well. So, he's doing big things down there. But speaking of big things, before we get into it, hey, let's just get into some football news. As everybody's seen, the Michael Parsons drama, we really haven't got to talk about it, but now we're actually going to give our little take on it real quick. Hey, I think he's going to get paid before the first game, just like Dak did a couple of years ago, just like CD did. But I'm also a side of me actually wishes his trade request might get granted to a certain process blue and black team, who he said was his favorite team. So that would also help fulfill our prophecy for this year. So, Boudreaux, Michael Parsons, is he going to be a Cowboy or is he going to be on another team?
No, he's not going anywhere. He's going to be a Cowboy. Jerry, I don't know Jerry Jones does this all the time. This is what happens when you have the owner, the GM, has the name of Jerry Jones. This happens every year with him. There's some big name player that he's just going to be like, oh, I'm not going to pay you, and he's going to sit out, and eventually he gets paid right before the first game, and then that's it. And then they do what they always do: get all the hype, and then suck at the end of the year. So
they suck.
Yeah, it won't be any different until at least if Jerry Jones would relinquish GM duties and give it to someone with more football knowledge, especially with football knowledge nowadays, the Cowboys are going to be stuck in this rut. Oh, it's our year. We them boys. And then, no, you're not. You're not going to do anything.
Yeah, y'all them boys sitting on the couch every damn January, baby. That's what y'all are.
Yeah.
So, hey, I honestly, and let's just face it, I would love to see him get traded to Carolina. But I'm not willing to give up what we would have to give up to get him in Carolina. And, I don't care if it's just preseason or not. We're sucking right now anyway. So my prophecy might not come true. I hope it does, but we'll see. Here's the thing. We got college football starting soon too. Your LSU Tigers are poised to look really good in that 30,000 team SEC you got going on. So you got a Heisman front runner running it, potential top draft pick in the NFL. What are your thoughts about your old LSU Tigers?
I think they're going to have a good year. We need to get over the hump of the first game. Now, I think that what they're doing by just putting everything just game one, and then each week now, instead of looking at the whole thing. It used to be when you walk into the locker room, they had the whole schedule pictured, but there's none of them pictured now. It's just they're going game by game, and that's the way they need to do it. I think they put too much emphasis on the SEC season and not enough on that first game to start. Now, granted, when you get into the gauntlet of the SEC, it's going to be hard. It always is. Florida's on the up. You still got Alabama, and Texas and Oklahoma. Everybody's just going to be tough again. It'll just be interesting to see how they approach the first game against Clemson. They're starting off another tough game, unlike half the SEC does. So if they can get through that first hump, I think it sets them up for the rest of the season, especially with Nuss up there leading the charge. Like you said, he's a Heisman. He's up there in the Heisman. He's up there top 2-3 quarterback in the draft. So we'll see what happens. So wide receiver core, that wide receiver room is unreal. I think they have 7 wide receivers that would start anywhere in the country. So my question will be though is how's the offensive line going to look after we lost those 2 losses to the draft? So
Yeah.
I hope they protect us. If they protect us and the defense comes back the way we play in LSU defense, yeah, I think they'll do well.
Yeah, I had no problem with that take. The only problem I have is Florida State starting off against Alabama. That's going to be a 50-piece burger put on them. But your least favorite SEC team probably plays the toughest schedule in the nation, and we're talking about Florida. They play out of their 12 games like 9 ranked opponents. I mean, that's got to be tough. Hopefully, they go 0-15. And I say this because, ladies and gentlemen, I am on record. I like 3 college football teams, so I'm kind of a mutt, but they're not like huge names or big names. Like be real. I like Central Florida. I like Colorado for one reason and one reason only. If he leaves, guess what? I don't like Colorado anymore. I've said that before, have I not, Mr. Boudreaux?
Yeah, I know you 100% said that.
And I like App State, but let's just be real. I don't like. I mean, I like college football, but when it comes to favorite teams, I just like watching it. But yeah, so we'll see how Central Florida does.
They got a shot. They got the Big 12 is not that tough,
Yeah,
as it used to be. Now, especially since Texas and Oklahoma's been out of there.
Yep.
I mean, you still got to worry about Baylor. Baylor's going to be tough, like they always are.
Scott
But
Frost
yeah,
coming home.
yeah. With
Yeah,
Scott Frost coming home, they're going to want to step it up. They have good horses there. They recruit the hell out of Florida and do a great job doing it. So yeah, I think UCF's got a shot to be in the Big 12. So it'll be interesting. Big 12, I think, is going to be fun to watch, like it always is, because it's always so tight.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I don't see anybody coming out of the Big 12 that would scare the Big 10 or the SEC.
I mean, let's be real. It's a Big 10 SEC showdown. That's all that playoff is. That's the only reason they got damn 12 teams on it is so they can have more of their teams in it and get more of the revenue, which they should. But at some point there needs to be, and this has been said before, there needs to be some type of commissioner for college football to round things up a little bit and make things level for every single solitary college that plays NCAA Division I. It needs to be equal all the way around. This conference realignment crap is crazy. It's fun to do on EA Sports College Football, but it's also fun to rebuild those old conferences on EA Sports College Football as well. Hey, before we get into Friday Night Lights, let's go ahead and shout out 2 of our great supporters. That's Mike's 3D Printing and Oasis Health and Hydration. They're on their way up to Country Roads to go take their daughter to West Virginia where she starts college. So, and one more shout out to the new Doran family. My amazing niece got married yesterday, a beautiful ceremony. She married her best friend, her lover, her whatever cliche you want to call. I appreciate being there. So shout out to Mr. and Mrs. Shane Doran. Yay. We hope that you have nothing but a happy and healthy marriage. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to bring in our guest a little bit earlier than what we usually do. We're going to talk about some Friday Night Lights with him. He is an assistant offensive coach. He is a head JV coach. He is a head wrestling coach. He is an assistant athletic director, and he probably has more job titles than I do, and that's pretty crazy considering the fact of job titles I have. Ladies and gentlemen, from Eastern Randolph High School, home of the Wildcats, Mr. Josh Coble. Josh, welcome to the show, Coach.
What's going on, guys? How are y'all?
Doing good. Josh, Friday Night Lights. How did it look for y'all in your first scrimmage Friday night? Who'd you play? What'd you do? And how bad was the score for the Wildcats?
We had a kind of a jamboree. We scrimmaged against Seaforth and Ben L. Smith, and we had some other teams there. Just
schools you don't even know. You just want to beat a pounding and get the kids playing time and get those booster parents off your back.
Yeah, but things went good. It's early lumps. Some good, some bad. Get back on the drawing board, fix it in film, and get ready for week 1 because we got a big one coming up week 1. We're playing Southern Alamance.
Absolutely.
They've been good for a long time, so
and you're traveling there.
Yep, on the road, first night. So we're excited, man. We got a good group of kids. I think we're poised to have a very successful season. Just got to do the right things.
Yeah, absolutely. So looking at your schedule, I mean, your home opener is against Randleman, then you go to Union Pines, Union Grove, then you got Asheboro, which I'm just going to go out on a limb there. That Asheboro game's always going to be circled on your calendar as a game you want to pound on. Then you got Western Stanley, Northwood, Southwestern Randolph, Northmore, and then you end up with the Jets of Jordan Matthews. Looking at your schedule, other than Asheboro, which game is circled that you know that when you get there, you have to win? And don't say the cliche every game, because we had a guest on there that said that. I want to know which one on your calendar circled like you want to prove a point at that game.
It's definitely different with the new conference realignment.
Which is crazy. Are y'all in like a 3 conference alignment or a 2?
We're in a split 3A 4A conference.
Okay. So you ain't got a 2, 3, and a 4. You just 3
no.
and 4. Okay, good.
Which, I mean, it's been different. So for the last 5 years since I've been at Eastern, we've played Random in the last game for a conference title. It's always been us and them. And now they get moved into a 5A conference, and we're playing them week 2, in a home opener. And that's always going to be a big game. Obviously we're not, like I just said, I don't want to be the cliche coach. We got to win every game.
1-0 every week.
Yeah, we're focused on Southern Alamance right now, but that Randleman game is always going to be a big game. All the teams we play inside the county are always big games for us. Asheboro, Randleman, we got Providence Grove on there, Southwest Randolph. We always want to win every game inside the county. But it's going to be a different look now that we're playing. We've got Northmore on the schedule in the conference. We've got Northwood and Jordan Matthews and.
Sounds like you're doing a little bit of traveling for some of them games.
Yeah, we are.
I would like to think Northwood is probably at least an hour away from you.
That's probably about 30 minutes. Yeah. So it's definitely more of a drive than we're used to. But they split the county. That really it was basically a county conference, and now you've got the county in 3 different conferences. So it'll be a different look this year for sure, but we're excited about, getting week 1 out of the way. And then obviously, you're never going to be upset playing a big time game week 2 at home against a team that you've battled it out with for the last 5 years that I've been here and, for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. Boudreaux, how'd your Friday night lights go?
Oh man.
I know you've been waiting for this one, guys.
Yeah, I have. So we had something that I've never witnessed in my 40, about to be 2 years on this earth.
Damn,
yeah, I'm getting there. So we were up 46-0. Granted, it's a kickoff classic. Granted, we weren't playing a team that it's a small school. It's small. It's a small freaking roster. I mean, you only had like 28 kids on their roster. But we're up 46-0 with 2 minutes to go in the first half, and their coach comes out and says they're done. They have too many injuries, and they just quit the game right there. Never seen it. Didn't know what to do with it. Called the district AD. I'm like, what am I supposed to do here? And he's like, you can't really hold them back. I was like, all right, well, guys, game's over. So congratulations, you won. Yeah,
great way to open up your new sound system, buddy.
Yeah, it was wild. But our boys, they dominated from start to finish. Obviously, you're up 46-0 before half. But it was also some self-inflicted wounds on the other side. They kept going forward on 4th down inside their own 5 instead of just punting away and hoping. So, yeah, I don't know, man. It was weird. I didn't know what to do with it. I would definitely have words with my coaching staff if it was our coaches that did something like that. I understand, you want to keep the health and safety of athletes at the forefront, but at the end of the day, I don't know how that coach walks in the locker room this week and says, guys, we got to get ready for the game. We got to be prepared. We're going to hit some adversity, and we just got to break through that wall when you had adversity and you just flat out quit. So, yeah, I don't know what to do.
So, literally, was it like the Friday Night Lights scene when Coach Taylor was coaching his first game in East Dillon, and he was looking around, he's like, we quit? Is that what happened?
Yeah, it was basically that. Like it was. I mean, it was insane. Like he just like literally, I was standing there doing the AD thing, shaking hands, kissing babies,
Of course.
and then my AT gets on the radio. She's like, "Chad, they just quit." And I turn around, I see him lined up at the 50, and I'll run out there. And my coach is talking to White Hat. I start talking to White Hat. My coach goes over there, starts talking to the coaches and their players, and they're like, "Yeah, we're done. We're not doing this." And I was like, "Okay, well, have a good trip home, I guess."
Yeah. At least you ain't got that far. I'm glad the I-4 express lane got fixed on that area and you get home a little bit quicker.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, ours wasn't okay. Ours was exciting, but we didn't get the victory. We went up to unit. I'm trying to think the best way to say this. We went up to Cougar Way, and I will shout out their AD Mark. Very beautiful pregame ceremony for our friend Jeremy Palmer. Had his wife and kids out there. Very beautiful. The kids went out there. They all circled around the family, held hands. Great ceremony. Great way to honor Jeremy. So shout out to the Cougar Nation for that. We was down 21-0 in the second quarter. Went to halftime. I think we was down like 21-7. That second half was a totally different game. We ended up going down 28-14, but we had self-inflicted wounds. Like our first 6 snaps went over the quarterback's head. It's not always a good way to start the game. However, I think it is to be noted that the old boys down there at the corner of Pleasant Hill and Poinciana, the old Charger Nation, ran for 452 yards. I called up my coach yesterday and I was like, you did not lie to me. He's like, what do you mean? I was like, you said you was going to run the goddamn ball. You ran the goddamn ball, son. So, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully, they fix those snapping issues and we get a little bit better because from what he talked to the coaches and even the ADs about after the game is those bad snaps. If it wasn't for that, they couldn't have stopped the run. But, it is what it is and it ain't what it ain't. We're 0-0. I don't care. Now we're looking forward to going to Innovation this week, where we will take on the Bulls. Hopefully, Bruce saw that. So yeah, we'll have a little bit of fun this week. And before we get into more fun with our special guest today, which is the great assistant coach, head wrestling coach, head JV coach, assistant athletic director, probably mower of the fields and leader of the weight room as well, Mr. Josh Coble over at Eastern Randolph. We're going to take a real quick break, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to get into Josh's story as we come back into this. We appreciate you hanging with the Chads this morning, and we're going to take a real quick break. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. And good morning. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Hanging with the Chads. I'm Chad Springer, joined as always the greatest ever tag team partner, Mr. Chad Boudreaux, and our very special guest today, Josh Coble. Josh, how the hell are you doing this morning?
Hi, just happy to be here, guys.
Hey, look, man, I'm glad you're here. I've known Josh for a very long time. I think we was in college together. We graduated together, So at the end of the day, great young man, little brother of mine, basically. And, I'm trying to get his ass down here to Florida. I think he'd do really good down here in the old Sunshine State. And, I tell you the perks is we're 45 minutes away from a beach. You can have the top off your Jeep, window down in your car all year round. We pay more. We have 0 state taxes, and our coaches get paid more. Like looking at your list of supplements, dude, you'll get a pretty good penny down here. Wouldn't you say, Boudreaux, to go along with the teaching side of it?
You get.
He's like my version of Janko right now.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You get. It's better than you get better than up there, and they're talking about making more down here.
Yeah, there's like this coalition out there that's like going to the state legislation right now.
Yeah, try to get more money from coaches.
So I'm just saying, look, I think you do really, really good down here. do really good down here. That's all I'm saying. And the pricing, don't say cost of living, because living near Charlotte is just like living in Orlando. The prices are about the same. And if you're better half, you're right here at Disney, Universal, SeaWorld, NASA, and you get all sorts of discounts to go there. I'm just saying.
Yep.
So
I appreciate it.
Just saying. I mean, I look, and not to toot my own horn, I am looking for a head wrestling coach right now. That down here you got a head boys and a head girls position, and if you get both, you get 1.5 of the supplement. Just saying.
Well, I'm definitely. I appreciate the. We've been talking about this for a long time.
Wildcats. I'm not trying to take your guy. I'm just trying to get my brother down here with me.
No, and this goes back to when we talked in college. You always said whenever you got a head coaching job or an AD job, you were going to call me and to give you your flowers, man. You were a man of your word, and you called me immediately.
There are certain people that I would always, as I say, always have on my staff.
I appreciate it that you think of me that way. I respect you, man. I always did when we were in school. We kind of molded together, being around the same guys, being in the same classes.
Fucking Tom Jin.
It feels like a lifetime ago, but it wasn't.
Dude, it really does. It really does, don't it? I mean, it's been 8 years since I graduated.
Yeah.
This is going into 8 years education. It's crazy, man. But so, hey, here we go. This is about you. This ain't about me. We're about you and your story. So Josh, give us your background. High school football player, went to college at Catawba College. What's led you to where you are now?
Went to Catawba, got an opportunity to, my freshman year, got an opportunity to play some football, and then enjoyed that and met some of the greatest guys that I'm still best friends with. I got Lee's wedding coming up in a couple of weeks. You meet guys like that and meet you, and always knew actually it was my sophomore year. I was actually exercise science. I wanted to go to PT school. I called my dad. My dad was a defensive coordinator and a head football coach for 30 years. And I was like, hey, man, I don't know what I want to do in life. He was like, well, what do you mean? Like, hey, man, we're in college. We got to figure this thing out. And I was like, he's like, what do you really want to do? I was like, I want to coach football and I want to coach wrestling. He was like, all right, we'll go down there and tell him you want to be a PE teacher or teach history and start next year. And it's really taken off from there. I graduated right at a weird time. I did a year with my dad. He was the head coach at Hickory Grove in Charlotte.
Yep.
And that was right when COVID hit, so we played one season and then we go home in the spring and, I'm a first year coach. Yeah. I'm a first year coach and we're trying to establish a program with, a small school. And so I said, I appreciate my dad for the opportunity he gave me, but I was like, this is not what I want to do. Like, small private school football was not it. So I started interviewing for jobs and didn't get a whole lot of opportunities, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I interviewed at a lot of places, and they weren't really taking a chance on a first year kid out of school. And it's funny, how I got to Eastern Randolph. I actually was offered a position at a middle school 2 days before I called Eastern Randolph back, and I was like, hey, I don't know what I want to do, but I appreciate you giving me this offer. Let me think on it. So I called the AD at Eastern. I was like, hey, man, like, here's the deal. I want to be at Eastern. I want to be the head wrestling coach, but I don't have a job. So he was like, oh, come back up here. And so I came back up there and we signed the paperwork the next day. And I called, it was a middle school in Concord, North Carolina. And I was like, hey, I'm sorry, but I'm gone.
Yeah.
And 6 years later, here we are, man. We've had a lot of success in football. Took over a storied wrestling program that was kind of falling on hard times. That we are back to where things need to be now. And like we talked about it before we started. Stepped into an assistant AD role, so I'm getting to see kind of the administrative side of it. But man, I love it. I'm grateful for the opportunities I've been given and getting to work with some great kids.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You had the last couple of years. Correct me if I'm wrong. A couple of kids go to the state championship, right, for wrestling.
Yep. So
Yep.
last year we had the first two state champions in 21 years at the school. Last one
Yeah.
being in '04. And I always say this, I knew what I was getting into, but I didn't know to the extent. Our wrestling room is named the Greg Harden Wrestling Room. We have two former coaches that are National Wrestling Hall of Famers. And when you've got two guys like that are in your ear, advising you, there's a lot of pressure, but it's also helped me grow as a coach,
Yeah.
to be able to lean on them guys and ask questions and go, hey man, I don't know it all. I'm trying to figure this thing out, and whatever the path to success needs to be for our kids, y'all give me some advice. And I've leaned on them, like I said, with Greg Harden and Cecil Mock, just trying to soak up as much as I can, because at the end of the day, I'm trying to build a successful program. It doesn't matter if I'm getting the glory or not, as long as the kids are shining. Who cares who gets the credit,
Yep. Absolutely, man. Boudreaux, follow up.
Yeah, like you're growing up. You talk about your two Hall of Fame coaches, your dad. Do you have any other influences that go along with that?
Oh yeah, man. Being around my dad, in a coaching aspect, I've always been around some really, really good coaches, and we've got. I've had an opportunity to work with some great coaches. Our head coach is our head football coach is Burton Cates. He's knocking on the door of 400 high school wins. He's been the head coach
Mhm.
for almost 40 years. Um, and I don't know off the top of my head, but I don't know the last time he had a losing season ever.
I know it
Uh,
wasn't before COVID because I just looked back at all your records and I was gonna segue into that one. But continue.
so then, obviously my dad in the coaching aspects has been the biggest influence for me. It's crazy. I'm 28 now, and we still talk at least 3 times a week, 4 times a week. Sometimes
Mhm.
once we get into, especially wrestling season, I'm probably calling him once a day, just asking him what his thoughts on things, because he was an AD, he was a
Mhm.
head football coach, he was their head wrestling coach. Just having guys like that to lean on, and then Cecil Mox, our assistant principal, he was a coach for a long, long, long time,
Yep.
and he's
Yep.
he's in the National Wrestling Hall of Fame. He's got a golden whistle as an official. So I aggravate him all the time asking him questions. But one thing I've realized at 28 that I didn't know at 23 is you need to ask questions. You need to lean on people around you. You need to
Mhm.
figure out that, hey man, you're not always right. You need to figure out how to make things work. So yeah, I've had a
Yep.
lot of influences. And then like, on the younger side of it, just like Chad, I mean, I've got a bunch of buddies that we went to college together that are now football coaches. Look at Zach Mayo and Ken Avent
Yep.
and
Yep.
Ryan Watts and
Yep.
even Steven. We've got a
Yep.
lot of guys that we were around that are all coaches. So
Pep. Michael
help down
Peppers.
in South
Yep.
Carolina. Yep. Trey
Yep.
Evans, he's at
Yep.
Ledford. You
Yep.
know, just asking questions and getting to see these guys and all the success everybody has.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of all my friends.
Yeah.
Seeing all of them succeed is awesome.
Yeah, it's a great feeling, man, to where you can always pick up the phone and be able to get some stuff. But I feel, your story is like just like the perfect circle, man. You got dropped into not a lot of people get this in their first one, but you got dropped into a place where, well, it's going to help you learn, grow, but at the same time, you're experiencing that success early. I mean, how does it feel as an assistant coach? You're part of programs that win 10 games every year, wins multiple playoff games, plays on Thanksgiving. That just sets you up, obviously, for your future, for everything you want to do. But, you're there, fucking 5 o'clock in the morning lifting with the kids. You're there supporting all your other athletes and all that. So talk about like what's your why to that? Why is that so important to you?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because I was actually thinking, like, when we were talking about this, I don't realize how crazy this is because it's so normal. But other coaches are going to hear this, and they might do this once or twice in their career. But minus the COVID year when we played in the spring,
Yeah.
I've practiced on Thanksgiving every year for the last 4 years.
Yep. That's the greatest feeling in the world, man. I don't care what anybody
It's
says.
incredible, man. Just we come in and we have breakfast with the kids, and then we go practice, and then everybody breaks up and goes sees their families to come back the next morning and go through walkthrough and go play a game the day after Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But the why, man, is the kids. We have a really, really good group of kids, and I like to talk about this because a lot of coaches don't. They like to say, "Oh, it's my scheme." It's not. We've been blessed to have great athletes, man, and these kids have bought in the weight room. They've bought in the film room. They bought in the classroom and on the field. It's fun to show up every day because practice is always going to be competitive. There's not a week that these guys don't show up, and whenever you've got kids that are determined to get to the end goal, that it makes it a lot easier, and especially even with the wrestling side of it, we've seen our kids fully buy in to our mission, and see 2 kids go reach the mountaintop last year. It makes it a lot of fun. There's never a day. I say this, and it's not a joke, but it's cliche coach talk, but it's the truth. There's never a day that I show up and I'm not excited about football practice. I'm not excited about going in that wrestling room and getting on a bus to drive 2 hours at 6 a.m. to go to a wrestling tournament. There's never a day that I'm showing up like, oh man, we got to go to practice today. Like,
Hey Boudreaux, I might be able to get him to come down to Florida on this next statement. Hey, you don't have to drive buses down here, therefore you don't got to have your CDLs either.
Yeah,
just saying.
But no, I mean, I really do love it, and I've always, I'm not a big look at me, but I've always been a high energy guy, and I feel like the kids feed off of that. So I've always said, I've got to show up so they show up, and they show up so I show up. So it works out. It works really well for us.
Absolutely, and you're not just a football coach; you're a wrestling coach. We're about to segue into wrestling. You mentioned driving the bus. I mean, not a lot of people want to wake up at 4:00 on a Saturday, drive to their school, check out the damn bus, write down the mileage, make sure the kids got all their crap, drive an hour or 2 to where you got to go. So talk about, you said that the program was down before you took over. Talk about the steps it took to build your program back up and to make it successful and to get your state champions now. Tell us about that.
Well, and I'll speak on this too. The biggest thing that's helped us is, and y'all understand this, especially being athletic directors. I'm going to give another guy his flowers. Having a guy at the middle school that is bought in to the same mindset that you're working with. And our middle school head wrestling coach is our middle school head football coach, and he prepares us. Ethan Haycox, he does a great job of getting these kids prepared for what we're going to do. So our freshmen don't walk in as freshmen. And being able to develop from the middle school level to where we're at has really helped us. But it's all, man, it's the kids. The kids have bought into what we want to do and how we're going to work. And we have non-negotiables, Yep. We're going to show up and we're going to work hard. And if you're not going to work hard, you don't have to be here. And they've really bought into that mindset that this is how we're going to do things. This is how we're going to operate. Obviously, we have standards on our wrestling team that, we don't bend on. You're going to work hard. You're going to be respectful. You're going to show up on time, and you're going to give it 100% effort. And everybody has a bad day, but we take care of that on the front end so it doesn't become a problem throughout the season.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when I first got there, it was a struggle to start, but having been there, this is going on year 6, the kids have really bought into the mindset of we're going to work hard. And then, like you said, you have 2 kids win a state title. They see that the method works, and it's nothing, that I do specifically. It's hard work, it's dedication, it's commitment to our mindset and how we're going to do things. And then you see that it works. There's no secret sauce recipe. It's hard work, dedication, get better at what we do,
Absolutely. Boudreaux, follow up?
Yeah, I mean, you're saying that it's all the kids, but like we've been doing this for a long time now, and we've had athletes. It does have something to do with you and your staffs. I mean, to get the kids to buy in to what you're selling, that's where you guys that do run these programs, build these programs. That's what I feel like the reason why you guys are where you are is because of what you're doing and getting them there to buy into it. So it's not just the kids. Like, you can take a little bit of flowers yourself. All right.
It's okay.
Yeah. You got any memories though? Like, I mean, you got your two kids that won state, but is there any memories that you have from the mat, from your coaching, and how you built this program to get it where it's back?
Yeah, I would say so. We it was actually from a loss. We won the first dual team playoff wrestling match since 2005, 2 years ago. And to see the kids succeed, they were like, wait a minute, like we can actually compete on a state championship level. And then this would have been 2023. We had 5 kids qualify, and they're like, holy crap, like maybe everything we're doing is right, And we bring it's honestly, we work hard, we do things the right way, but we've got a small community, man. Like it's tough working. We're blue collar, man. It's tough working families. It's kids that grow up on a farm, kids that had to struggle in life a little bit.
We love blue
Um,
collar families around here.
oh yeah, and it's like we've got 2 kids right now that when they came in, their brothers. They were at practice the other day, and they're like, "Man, I'm sore." And I'm like, "Why?" They're like, "Dad's been working us on the farm all day long." These are working kids. But when you talk about the state championships, man, I don't know if I think Chad's been once or twice, but the wrestling state championships in North Carolina, for it to be such a small in the national eyes, it'd be a small state for wrestling. The North Carolina State Championships is something like you'll never experience. You come out of that tunnel and they shut the lights down, and there are 5 mats with 10,000 people in the stands. It's an experience for sure. And having those 2 kids this year have been a lot of fun, man. And even we had another one qualify, and to see, we always say wrestling is funerals and weddings. It's the highest of highs, the lowest of lows. Somebody's taking home the prom queen and somebody's getting their heart broken.
Mm-hmm.
So to see both ends of it, a kid that works his tail off all year not reach his goal, and see the fire that's set in him throughout the off season, but also to see 2 kids have their work legitimized and winning a state title. It was a lot of fun this year.
Yeah, I can imagine, man. Look, I always tell all my athletes, I'm sure Boudreaux says the same. I was like, the only ring I'm ever going to buy you is the state championship ring. It's up to your spouse to get you the other ring. But, this state championship until then will mean the most in your life. So I tell them, give me a reason to buy you a ring. And, so we're going to take a real quick break, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Chad Springer, joined as always by the great Chad Boudreaux and the amazing Josh Coble, our special guest today. We're going to take a real quick break. We appreciate you hanging with the Jads. And when we come back, we're going to talk about a little bit more Friday Night Lights and what's it like being an assistant AD at Eastern Randolph High School, home of the Wildcats. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, we appreciate you. We love you. We'll be right back. Hey, good morning. Welcome back to Hanging with the Chads. I'm Chad Springer, joined as always by the great Chad Boudreaux, Mr. LSU man himself. And today we got some old Rocky Top over here from, by the way, of Eastern Randolph High School, home of the Wildcats, Mr. Josh Coble. Josh, I think I figured out during this break how I am going to get you to Florida. I'm telling you how much more the money is. I'm telling you, you ain't got to drive a bus no more. Hey, I'm just going to say, hey, I'm looking for a head baseball coach too. We'll give you every damn thing. We'll take care of you down here, buddy. And look, and wait, and I'll give you the best caveat ever. All sports are basically year round here.
Yeah.
All sports are basically year round. I mean, We come on now, man. We gonna get you. Okay. Sorry, Wildcat Nation. I'll stop. I don't want to get hate mail.
Yeah, you're definitely getting hate mail now.
Look, our first damn email is gonna be hate mail.
Uh-huh.
Y'all better. Hey, Bujo, you ready for this? Y'all better send it to Parent Square. The official form of communication, baby.
Yep, official.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen.
Run off the rails now. Come on, man.
Gotta have a little bit of fun here. Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Coble here. Josh, you are an assistant varsity football coach. You are the head JV football coach. You are the head wrestling coach. You are an assistant athletic director. You're a keeper of the keys, driver of the buses, and mower of the fields. Let's get into some Friday night football lights over here, okay? You're on a program that, let's just be honest, notoriously known for winning. Your coach is about to be a 400-game winner. You know what I'm saying? This is years of hard work and dedication that he's put out. And for him to welcome you on the staff, obviously for you, you're like, holy crap, I can't screw this up, which you've been there for, 6 years now. You haven't been, but how does it feel every year after year? You're hitting 10 games, you're getting in the playoffs, you're going deep in the playoffs, you're playing on Thanksgiving. Explain how that culture of that small 600-person school with about, 40, 50 kids on your varsity roster, give or take?
Mm-hmm.
Talk about that culture and how it stays the same.
Just basically, the standard never changes, and it's funny. Like, we really, I'm not a big, beat my chest kind of guy, but when you put on the side of your gymnasium where winning is a tradition, the standard is the standard.
Absolutely.
The standard is to play for a conference championship every year. The standard is to have a home playoff game, to have multiple home playoff games. And the idea is every single year we're chasing the state title. And in the last 4 years, we've lost to every single team we've lost to in the playoffs is either played for or won the state title, So right now, it's hard to say you're falling on hard times when you win 12, 13, 14 games, but we just haven't been able to get over the hump and get back to Raleigh or Chapel Hill to play for the big one. But these kids see it from a small age. Like our youth league plays at the high school stadium. Our middle school has their games at our stadium. Everybody comes out for a Friday night game in Ramseur, man. It's beautiful. It's small town football, man. They love it. We love the community. There's, it honestly feels like just old school football, man. We've got we call them the OGs, that the old men from the community that go eat lunch at the same diner every day and then come watch us practice at 3:00. So when you have sustained success for that long, it's very simple to continue that success because they understand what it takes to get there.
Yeah, absolutely. And, shout out to Coach Burton Cates, head football coach at Eastern Randolph. How does it feel? So you talked about, you took over a wrestling program in which there's 2 Hall of Famers that created and built that program. And let's be honest, Coach Cates, he is going to be a Hall of Famer, right? And, he's the activist or the active winningest head football coach in North Carolina right now, which is, tell me, you being 28 years old, the amount of things you've learned in the 5 years you've been there, that's obviously going to set up for your success. What is one of something that Coach Cates has told you that has just stuck with you for the last 6 years?
The thing that he's really preaches is, he preaches love the kids, man. And
absolutely.
And the thing that really resonates with us, and you guys understand this, like when the kids understand that you care about them, they'll do anything in the world for you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we've really been able to have these kids buy in. Like we always say, like there's never a day that, and we're old school, man. We coach hard. We get on people. Like it's not a hold hands and sing Kumbaya practice at Eastern Randolph, man.
I imagine it's not with him being at the helm.
we get after it and we coach hard and we get on kids, but there's never a day that you go home and these kids say, man, Coach Coble doesn't love me or Coach Case don't like me. We tell them all the time, we coach hard because life's hard. One thing that he talks about is being a father's hard, being a husband's hard. Everything you're going to do for the rest of your life is going to be hard. So why are we going to be soft on you right now in one of the most important times of your life?
Absolutely. Boudreaux?
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with that. But coming from so much success, like, it can be numbing. What do you find that's the little things that makes you want to continue going, especially like with the football program? Because what makes you see those little successes, even though like the big success, over 10 wins a season, playing on Thanksgiving, all that stuff? What's the little things that keep you going?
I'd say like seeing the kids just develop, like we got to win our own little battles every single day. And watching our kids compete because we were talking about this yesterday with my OC. We've got the deepest. I coach the wide receivers. We've got the deepest wide receiver room we've had since I've been here. It's not the most talented since I've been here, but everybody, we've probably got 8, 9 dudes that could play, and seeing them compete against each other and continue to get better, and then roll into and it's crazy. You think that you win so many games so many years in a row, it would become numbing. Man, I still get nervous every Friday night before they've kicked that ball off, just because we've seen things happen. It's the losses that haunt you more than the successes.
Absolutely.
I'll take you back 4 years ago. We were 2021. We were undefeated, the number one team in the state. And Murphy came down the mountain and beat the brakes off us because they were prepared and we weren't. I think that we gave up 63 points that night or something like that.
Yeah, it was pretty high.
But that's what keeps you coming back. Like even playing Mount Airy and losing to them 2 years in a row, and even last year Corvian came up out of nowhere. And you talk about I'm going to give them guys their flowers. They went from 5-6, 6-6 to going on the road and beating us, to going on the road and beating Mount Airy, to going on the road and beating Mountain Heritage before they reached the state title game and run into Tarboro. But
Boudreaux, that's what we would call a policy 36. Just being honest with you. Someone down here would say that.
Yeah. Well, they're.
If you're not familiar with what policy 36 is in the state of Florida, that is called recruiting. No, shout out Corvian, man. I'm sure they did it the right way. I'm just trying to be funny. Don't sue me.
Well, it's yeah. Well, it's the thing that we struggle with in North Carolina. I don't know if y'all have this problem in Florida. And like I said, I'm not calling anybody out. Don't shoot the messenger.
Hey, you're protected on this show. Just don't say their names.
The charter school issue in North Carolina, is becoming a problem.
So here in Florida, we have the House bill that says school of choice, that kids can go wherever the hell they want to go.
Yeah.
We have a transfer portal on Twitter.
Yeah.
like legitly, like I'm transferring to such and such school with 2 years of eligibility left. And then they're tagging all the coaches on it.
Which is that's crarazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like college over here. Like literally college.
And we have NIL.
Yeah, and we have NIL.
Kids get to go wherever they want. They can get paid. They cannot be paid by a person that goes or works at the school or who is a part of the school.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's rampant down here, big guy. But most of the time we're not seeing those 5-5 teams make it deep in the playoffs, because then you got to go play teams that are named after a guy that used to sell from England over here and founded Thanksgiving, and then they just get beat in every single solitary sport by that one program and everything. So that was a good description of that team name, right, Boudreaux?
Oh, it's perfect.
Very good description. And they're actually called the Explorers or something like that, so it's even better. They explore the portal. Anyway, so but no, continuing on, Boudreaux, another follow-up?
So being a position coach, what's like the biggest reward you've ever got?
The biggest I love, and it's not during the season, but having these kids receive scholarships and go on to play college football. Like last year, um, we had 7 seniors. 5 of them are playing college football this year.
Nice.
And 2 of them were wide receivers. We had a defensive end, and a running back. Just to see those kids reach their goal of, hey man, they want to play college football. And then even on the flip side of it is seeing the other success where, one of the seniors that didn't want to play college football, he's already in his first year at UNC Greensboro. And then the other one, he had the same mindset from his sophomore year on, and he enlisted in the Navy, and that's what he wanted to do. But just see these kids reach their goals, whether it be college football or enter the military, or just say, hey, man, I'm going to go be a full-time student and do good things in the world. That's really what it comes down to for me.
Awesome. Let's segue into your 5th job title at Eastern Randolph High School, Mr. Assistant Athletic Director over here. Congratulations on that, by the way. So how'd that come about? Please explain.
So just splitting up responsibilities, just trying to help the ship sail as smoothly as possible. Me and the AD, I mean, obviously, I knew y'all understand this. I mean, we were talking about this earlier. Being in a small school, a lot of the coaches work together,
Yeah.
So we transitioned into this, just helping. I had a lot of the paperwork stuff just because that's easy for me, man. I can sit at it and figure it out. And
how do you like Dragonfly? Give me your honest opinion.
I mean,
their home campus.
I like it, but I don't. I mean, there's flaws to everything, There was things about Arbiter that weren't great,
We like Arbiter here.
Yeah, we use Arbiter.
We don't have many mistakes in Arbiter. We actually have to email all of our games. We don't have to put anything in. We just email our stuff. Yeah, so that's part of like the agreement with all the contracts. We just email the assigner. He does his job.
Wow.
So, but yeah, it's crazy. So continuing on with that, being the assistant AD in your roles, so you're handling the paperwork. Are you the guy in charge of the transportation, locking down the weight room, locking down the official? What else are you doing?
So I am. I'm. I guess you call it our strength and conditioning coordinator. I run the weight room for our football team. We actually have. We're the only team that is in there every single day, but we have a lot of different things going on, and luckily, the biggest thing that I have going for us is 2 of our 3 administrators were coaches, so they understand what it's like to be in that role. Checking things out, locking things up, transportation. Luckily, we have coaches that, like you said, even though y'all don't have to, that drive buses and plan their own schedules and make it a lot easier on us. Obviously, you're going to have the things you can't avoid, like last year, we got snow for like 3 days straight in North Carolina, which never happens and ends up screwing up basketball dates and our wrestling tournament and all that. But you'll always have stuff like that. You just can't avoid it.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily, man, we really do have a good group of coaches that work together, communicate, and whenever your DB's coach is also your baseball coach, and your receivers coach is your wrestling coach, and we all work together all the time. It makes it a lot easier, especially with us, being a smaller school. You only have so many coaches. We're just at the end of the day, we don't have the numbers to have in the spring a women's lacrosse, a women's soccer, a women's softball, and a track team. Like it's just not going to happen. We've got 600 kids. So it does make our life a lot easier having 2 ADs that work side by side.
Perfect. Boudreaux, follow-up question?
Yeah, so how hard is it, though, to wear every hat that goes along with being a coach, an assistant AD, and everything that you do. How hard is it to just keep throwing on the different hats during the day? Because you have to do it every day.
Mm-hmm. And Chad will tell you this, that he's known me long enough. The easiest thing for me is, man, I really don't change. I am unapologetically me. I'm going to do things that I think are the right thing to do. I'm going to do things that I think make sense for the kids. And I'm gonna conduct myself the same, whether we're talking about football or women's tennis. Um, and the biggest thing I've realized, and you two both definitely understand this, you're never going to make everybody happy. So stop.
We already know that after the first week.
It's not even worth trying to. So you just do things that you do right by the kids, and you try your best to do what makes sense for the school and the betterment of all the athletes. But you just understand that it doesn't matter if you try your hardest to make everybody happy. They're going to find something that's just, their football gets all the love. I can't believe blah, 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 blah. You're never going to avoid it. But the biggest thing with us is, last season, on the male athletic side of it, football went to the third round, basketball went to the third round, baseball went to the regional final, wrestling went to the third round. So we're seeing it spread out. But at the end of the day, what makes our life a lot easier is the same 60, 70 kids that are in our football program are the same kids that play basketball, the same kids that are on the wrestling team, the same kids that play baseball and run track for you. Mm-hmm. So you get to build relationships with the parents, and it makes your life a lot easier.
Yeah, when you got parents that understand it, it helps out a lot, and I'm thankful for those parents. Bujo, any more follow-up questions?
No, I agree, man. I just say it's working those parents. You're never gonna make them all happy. They're all gonna think football is always king in your eyes, but it's because like my principal said it best. He said football is the thing that starts it. It's the first thing of the year. Mm-hmm. It's the thing that gets the most eyes on it, and if they're successful, everything else for the school year is going to be successful. Like you said, third round, regional final, everything lines up. If football is successful, everything else moves the right way.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yep. And real quick, one final question before we start hanging it up over here. How do you juggle everything between work, school, all your responsibilities, your home life? This is the advice section. How do you juggle everything?
I took this from my father, especially with wrestling and football and everything. Have good people around you. I've been fortunate, with wrestling. I had my brother with me for a while. Mm-hmm. He moved on to other things. I've been lucky to Ben Harden came back, and he is my assistant coach. And we just, I don't know exactly what capacity he's going to be in yet. I just got another assistant wrestling coach came down from Southeast Guilford, Jed Cox. Have good people around you that are going for the same mission, because at the end of the day, I feel like y'all understand this. Like every now and then, you need a reset. Like I told my boss last year in the spring, things got a little too heavy, and I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna take a day off of work," and she was like, "Okay." I was like, "I'm gonna take a long weekend. I'm gonna take Friday." She's like, "Okay, is everything all right?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go play golf." And she was like, "Oh yeah, you need a mental day. Go reset it. I'll see you Monday." But having administration that also backs you up is massive, man. I'm gonna give a huge shout out to Dr. Chappell. She always says she is not an athletics girl, but she loves our athletic team. She does everything she can to support us, and it's a healthy balance. Sometimes Kaylee is like, "Hey, can we go do this?" And especially on the personal side of it, me and Kaylee have talked about like, "Hey, we need to go to dinner at least like once every 2 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
like us take a Sunday and, drive back home and go see my parents. It's just finding the little times that you can get away, and cause you never stop, man. You never turn it off. But to step away from it for an hour or two and enjoy the moment that you're in is big time, because at the end of the day, it's just like yesterday. Our college kids had an incident at college, and who's he call? He calls us immediately. So you never turn it off when you're a coach, but have people around you that are working towards the same goal and have the same mindset. That's the biggest thing that I would say to anybody trying to get into coaching. Or if you're the guy that is getting into coaching, be a sponge, man. Get around good people. And it's like you said, you told me a long time ago, Chad, be around people and pick, see all of it. Don't disagree with it out loud, but say, hey, man, when I'm in charge, this is what I'm going to do and this is what I'm not going to do.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, you are who you are, and you have to be able to sleep at night with the decision you make. And sometimes, as an AD, as a coach, in the middle of a game, middle of a rivalry game, big game, whatever, you're going to make a decision that you have to stick with. And if I can look myself in the mirror and be like, hey, you made that decision, yada, 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 it is what it is. I'd rather be the one making that decision than have to put that on somebody else. And then, because I can yell at myself in the mirror, but yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Chad Springer. This is Chad Boudreaux, and we're joined by Coach Josh Coble of Eastern Randolph High School, home of the Wildcats. And Josh, if you haven't been watching our show, we ain't going to let you leave without having a little bit of fun with you. And this is going to be what we like to call this or that. So first thing, I'm just going to put you on the spot. Would you rather say one nice thing about the LSU Tigers or spend a year in jail?
Oh yeah, I'll say something nice about the Tigers, man. I think I think that they're poised for a great season. I think their quarterback's great. Don't believe in their coach one bit, but I think they're going to have a great team this year.
Hey, I had to, Boudreaux. I had to. Hey, Boudreaux, would you rather say one nice thing about Alabama or spend a year in jail?
Hey, Alabama had two great coaches, Bear Bryant and Nick Saban. That's about as far I'm going with it, all right?
That's fair.
All right, here we go. All right, so here we go. You ready for this one? What's more important to you, or what would you rather be at? Friday Night Lights or Saturday morning wrestling?
So this is an easy answer for me.
I'll bleep out your answer so the fans don't hear it.
No. I've always said this, man. Like, football is a job. I love coaching football. My passion is wrestling. Like, the sport of wrestling has given me so much in my life, between friendships and relationships with other coaches and seeing kids develop. I love coaching football, but I don't think there's a day that I could step into a school and not be involved in the sport of wrestling.
Dude, you're a brave man. I hated every second I was a wrestling coach. And look, and I was a wrestling coach just to go to the meets and drive.
Well, and
I hated every second. I didn't have to go to a practice, nothing. I hated every single second of it.
So the thing is, it's a very different community. But I'm a wrestling family, man. My dad wrestled. Yeah. All three, or me and my two brothers. My youngest brother's still in high school. He's getting ready to go into his sophomore year. My brother Matt, he was a wrestling coach for a couple of years. We wrestled. I mean, it's something I've been in love with since the time I started, and it's just, I don't know how to explain it. It's just a love that I have for the sport. There's something about the only thing, and I tell our kids this, the only thing that's fun about wrestling is winning. Like, practice sucks, waking up early sucks, making weight sucks. Mm-hmm. The only thing that's great about it is your relationships you build with people and winning. So to see them go through hard practices and hard mornings on Saturday, and maybe losing a match and wrestling all the way back to place third, it's something like no other.
All right. The next two are going to be predictions of the future. On December 11th to 13th, the Eastern Randolph Wildcats football team will be
playing. I mean, I'm obviously going to say yes. I'm not gonna go into a season saying no. But there's some good competition this year. You know, we get in the playoffs. I don't, you know, we don't overlook anybody. But the Northeasterns in our division, they're coming off of playing for a state title. You got teams like James Keenan and Whiteville and Kinston's prime for a good year. You know, I think that we're going to have some big time wins, you know, and we'll see where we're at when we get there, you know. And I hate to say that, I think we you know, it's not an arrogance thing. We just got faith in our kids, man. I'm gonna take my kids to battle every Friday night. And so the same thing every coach would say, you know, I'm gonna take my kids and we're gonna roll with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, you got to agree with that. You know, so you know, playing for a state championship is always the goal for every single person, and you know that's what you're going to do. And here's another prediction: February 8th, 2026, the Carolina Panthers will be
February 8th. Oh, they'll be done.
No, sir. We're playing for the Super Bowl. I'm cutting this clip off.
Listen,
with the rest of us watching on TV. That's what they're doing.
I love it, but on that day, me and Bryce Young will be doing the same thing. Our feet will be up on the couch watching the game.
I mean, he might be at the game though. Come on now, when he's there, I'm gonna make you both wear a Bryce Young jersey just for that.
I'm a Panthers guy, man, but I'm also real.
I'm not. I am believing in the prophecy this year. The prophecy. Yeah, that's what I'm believing in. It is real, factual information. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Chad Springer, joined as always by Chad Boudreaux. And we had an amazing guest today, Mr. Josh Coble. Josh, any final thoughts before we get out of here?
No, man, just keep doing the right things. I appreciate y'all having me on, man.
Yeah, we appreciate you being here. And, you know, Boudreaux, how are we going to end the show?
Hey, be better.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Chad Springer, joined as always by Chad Boudreaux with our amazing guest, Josh Coble. Hey, if you're better today, that means you're going to be better tomorrow, which means your future is going to be bright and it's going to be full of amazing things. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for hanging with the Chads. We love you. We support you. Friday Night Lights is back. Have a great day.